how you doing? My name is Codename Big Bear, or Stuart, if you want to call me by my first name. Welcome to the Bear's Den. And we're doing a midweek one this week. There's going to be one on Sunday as well. But the reason I'm doing this one midweek is because, I say midweek, is because, last night on Sunday, I went to see Uncharted. And I quite enjoyed it. I thought it was a good film. I thought it was a good time. I've only ever really played the first two Uncharted games. Played the first one, I got about halfway through. It annoyed me quite a lot because when I first played it, it was the 6-axis controller and you have to use that to throw grenades. Just wound me up. And then I got it on PS4, and I played through the whole first game and a little bit of the second, and I just kind of never picked it up again. It's not that I don't enjoy those games. I do actually quite enjoy them. I think they're good fun and definitely worth to play. But yeah, just it's one of those situations. I never kind of got around to finishing it. Happens with a lot of games. I mean, a lot of these games here, I've never actually got to finish, which is why I'll be doing a stream where I do eventually finish all of these. But that depends on when I get my capture card. Anyway, so the whole point of this video is actually going to be a very mini review, and then I'm actually going to give you a list of my top 10 favorite video game movies. And some of them might surprise you. So, Uncharted, is it good? Is it a good film? Yes, it is actually a very good film. It's really entertaining. It gets the feel of Uncharted, Nathan Drake, and Sully and their relationship to right in there. It really does get all the whole thing. And it's very, very enjoyable. It's a great adventure film, and you will have a lot of fun watching this film. Kind of, they reference it within the film, but it's very much Indiana Jones. And it's Lara Croft mixed together, which is the whole point of Uncharted. It is Lara Croft, Indiana Jones, all kind of amalgamated into one thing, with this whole silly backstory about being Sylvester Drake's distant relative, which they mention, they don't go into all that much in the film. But if I will say though, if you've seen the trailer, you've pretty much seen the film. You could probably watch the trailer and go, that happens at this point, that happens at this point, that happens at this point, that happens at this point. That's the whole film. Don't need to bother with the whole thing. I would say though, sit down and watch this film at some point. It is good. It's good fun. I really, really enjoyed it. It is, like I say, it's a bit predictable. It's a bit over the top sometimes. But hey, so is Uncharted in general. Some of the scenes they recreate in the film from the games are top notch. Absolutely incredible, especially the airplane scene from Uncharted 3. I don't know why I went but Uncharted 3, that was very, very cool. Obviously, I've seen that played. I haven't played it. But let's get to the main crux of this particular version of Bears. Then it's going to be a top 10 list of my personal favorite video game films, I guess. And I've got them written down on my phone. So please forgive me, I will be looking at this because I can't remember them all, and I've written them down, and this list has changed fairly regularly as well. So one thing I have done in this is I have not chosen any animated video game movies. So I always find the animated ones tend to do much, much better. I'm talking about actual, they must have either been in theatres, in fact, I believe everyone bar one has been actually in a cinema. Had a cinema release, but we'll get to that when we get to it. But they all must be live action at least anyway. And number 10 is Resident Evil, the Milo Jovovich, Paul W.S. Anderson film. I saw this in a cinema. I had a great time watching it. Is it Resident Evil? A little bit. Is it mostly not Resident Evil? A lot of it. It's one of those. Again, it's one of those films. It is good fun. It has a great cast and silly story. A very B-movie. Feels like a Resident Evil film of how ridiculous the story is, but is it Resident Evil? No, absolutely not. It's just a good film. I really enjoy it. However, the sequels do just get progressively worse. Like the second film, the one that had the Nemesis in, why they use slow motion on shambling zombies, I will never understand. I know it's for the runtime, but I will never understand why they did that. It was very, very silly. But in the Resident Evil movie, the first one that happened, that one, the zombie in the water that all of a sudden just jumped, that got me. That got me quite hard in the cinema, I remember very much. Right, so my next film, number 9. I don't know why I like this film. This film was made by the infamous filmmaker Uwe Boll, and it's considered one of the worst films of all time. But I've watched it several times, and I've enjoyed it every single time. and mainly because Christian Slater is kicking all the ass in it. He's just been so good in it. He's playing Edward Carnby. If you don't know from those two facts there, well, those three facts there, it's Alone in the Dark. Just really enjoy it. I don't know. I think so. I'm gonna put something down to this on Alone in the Dark. The reason this film, I might enjoy this film as much as I did, is because I played the 2008 Alone in the Dark film game and I hated it. And I watched this film and I really enjoyed it. I thought, you know what, I'm gonna go back and eventually play that game someday. And then I found the Alone in the Dark 2008 collector's edition for a fiver. Came with a little figure, came with a CD, everything. Really great collection, really good one. If you ever see it, I recommend picking it up. And it's a great game, and I really, really loved it. To the point that now I have 3 copies of Alone in the Dark 2008. I have the collector's edition, I have the Steelbook edition, and I now have the Wii version, which is actually probably the best version. I don't know. I'm going to have to go on now and again. But I enjoyed that game so much, and it's because of that film that kind of reminded me of that game happening. And I just really enjoyed the film. Next film is one that is very close to my heart. When I was a kid, I was bullied quite a lot for having ears that stuck out quite a bit, and I had surgery to put them back. And whilst I was in the hospital for this, my mum was with me, and obviously I was, I was only like 9, 10, something like that. I wasn't very old at all. And I was very upset in general when the Jean-Claude Van Damme film came on, and I knew who he was. My brother put me on to him quite a lot. And it was Street Fighter. I love Street Fighter. I love the game. Street Fighter 2 Turbo was one of the ones I had on sales, but I've still got it here in the collection behind me. And my mum sat there and watched it with me, and Raul Julia was in it, and I knew who that was because of Adam's Family, and I just loved this film so much, and she really enjoyed it as well. And one of the kind of bonding moments me and my mum had when it comes to films as well. And that Christmas, I remember she bought, it was on TV at the time, I remember she bought me the VHS tape of Street Fighter, and it was the best thing. It was even my Christmas or my birthday, I'm pretty sure it was my birthday actually. But she bought me that, and it was one of the videos I watched over and over again, and I just love that film. It's ridiculous and camp and it's silly and it's stupid and just awful as that film is. It's so good, and the main reason you want to watch that film is because of Raul Julia. He is incredible in this film. He is dying from stomach cancer, I believe. He's dying in this film whilst he's making it, and he made it for his kids who are fans of Street Fighter at the time. And even they were like, "Why did you make this terrible film?" Because I made it for you. I wanted to make sure you had money, and there was something I did for you. And it was very heartbreaking. And he's the most amazing M. Bison in the world. Just watch that film. I'll probably throw up a clip here and there. I am very aware this video might be going on quite long. I don't care. It could be a 20-minute Bears Den. Whatever. After that, number 7. Number 7 is the most recent Mortal Kombat film that came out. Overall, that film is kind of meh. But I got a kick out of it. There was some really cool fatalities in there. Not nearly enough as far as I was concerned. You had an amazing version of Kano. Everyone says this. You had a really cool, violent version of Sub-Zero, and I really wish he was a bit more grim and violent. And I wish Scorpion was in it more. You have this new character that came in to kind of get a sequel going on, and there was hints of Johnny Cage turning up in the sequel, which they do personally, and I reckon he could do it. Just get the Miz, right? Get the Miz to be Johnny Cage. That is his character in WWE. You may as well get him to be this asshole superstar. Maybe just train him so he can do some splits at some point and do a nice high kick. And I'm pretty sure he could do it. Genuinely. But yeah, anyway, digress. There's some really cool moments in there. Like the Goro fight is short. Shouldn't have been as short as it was, but it was short in the original one. But yeah, it's a good film. I really enjoyed myself. If you want to sit down and just watch something mindless for, about 2 hours or so? Yeah, it's good. Do I think it's better than the original? We shall see. Number 6 is Angelina Jolie's Lara Croft Tomb Raider. Also starring Daniel Craig, which is future James Bond at this point. Putting on an unusual American accent. But also has Chris Barry in it, which is Rimmer, which is fantastic, and I love Chris Barry. But he's playing the old man that you can lock in the freezer, so that doesn't happen in this film. But Jolie, at the time, was the most perfect casting for Lara Croft. And this film, again, is good fun. It is an adventure romp, and it's silly and it's ridiculous. and it's badass, and Jodie looks incredible in the entire film, not just because she is a beautiful woman, but also because she looks like how everyone imagined Lara Croft to be in real life. They just nailed it, absolutely nailed it, and it's a great film. The sequel, however, Cradle of Life, not so much. Probably the reason why we never got a third Jolie film. The new Tomb Raider, nah, I was very disappointed with that film. Like, very disappointed. There was a lot. Walton Goggins, amazing. That's about it. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Oh, that's gone. And my number 5 top favorite video game movies of all time. I'm actually going to throw in Uncharted here. I have spoken about it very briefly at the beginning of the video. I'm going to throw it in number 5. It might be here because I've recently just seen it and it's very fresh in my mind, and I was quite happy coming out of the cinema with it. That might change in the future, but right now, that's where it's sitting. I think it's a flipping great film and deserves to be in number 5. Anyway, 4. Let's go to 4. What's on 4? Number 4 is a film that nobody wanted because of how creepy everything looked. But when you watch it, it's actually probably the best video game movie of all time. It's very accurate to the games. It has a very good story. Basically, everything about it is great, and it keeps the lore going as well. But just out of preference, it's not at my top of the list. But it is Detective Pikachu. I'm not even that big a Pokemon fan. I've said this before. I love Pokemon Snap, and that's pretty much about it. But as a Pokemon fan, I went to see the first movie in the cinema. But this one I saw on the plane on the way home from America after going on holiday. And I flipping loved it. I thought it was so good. It was a really great, enjoyable film with a silly concept, but all the Pokemon looked fantastic. They had all the right feel. They got the humor down as well. They utilized Ryan Reynolds brilliantly, and just everything about the film was good fun. I really felt like these Pokemon were living in this world, and they had this whole lore about it, and even having underground gym fights that weren't quite legal, which the Charizard scene, I think, and kind of mucking about things like that as well. And then Mewtwo doing his thing. It was just, I had a blast with that film. And if you haven't seen it because you're not a fan of Pokemon, get that out of your head, put it on, and just enjoy the film for what it is. It is a film about a young lad where a little animal all of a sudden can talk to him and no one else can understand him in a world where everyone has little animals as pets that they battle. That's, just leave it at that and go in and enjoy this film. And you're going to have a blast, I promise you. You really will. I genuinely love that film. Next film, number 3, is a film I did not expect to enjoy as much as I did. It was one of those films where I first came out and was like, yeah, that was fun. That was all right. And I've kind of thought about it a bit more since. And yeah, I much enjoyed it. And I'm very much looking forward to the sequel that's coming out very soon. It is Sonic the Hedgehog. We all remember the scary cat-like thing that was going on beforehand. And I do want to see that version. I kind of hope they do a special edition where they do have that version available. But the decision to make Sonic look more like the Sonic we know and love was the correct choice. And actually, I think probably made this film more enjoyable for me. Jim Carrey, I really like Jim Carrey. I'm not as big a fan as a lot of films that I'm just like meh on, but he was great as Robotnik. I'm sad that in the sequel he doesn't have his round belly yet. Doesn't have a big old mustache though, which is quite fun. And you know, it was weird. It was kind of, the Sonic the Hedgehog movie kind of reminded me of Masters of the Universe, another film I absolutely adore. Where it goes, here's this fantastical world that you know and love and you want to be in, you want to be involved in the entire film, but nah, we're gonna go to Earth. It's just like, okay, why are we on Earth? And I really hope in a sequel that we only have Earth for a very small amount of time, and then we go to Green Hill Zone and Marvel Zone and all this kind of stuff in the sequel. But I don't think that's going to happen, judging by the trailer I saw before seeing Uncharted. Hey, we'll see. But Sonic the Hedgehog is number 3 for me. Number 2 is Mortal Kombat from the 90s, mainly because of this. Yeah, can't do that for much longer. Copyright strikes and all that. But the Mortal Kombat, the original, is awesome. It's so good. The fatalities aren't as grim as they should be, and in fact, you know, that's probably one of the downfalls of this film. But it is cheesy, it is silly, it is full of action, it's badass, has some amazing acting from the guy who plays Shang Tsung. I cannot remember his name. It will be on the screen. The guy who played Liu Kang was excellent. Johnny Cage has some wicked one-liners I really enjoyed. Goro looked absolutely awesome. This practical effect Goro was very cool. You can see they struggled with it in the film, mind. But it looked wicked. I absolutely loved it. You had Reptile randomly turning up, which didn't expect at all. Sub-Zero and Scorpion, fantastic. Get over here was, yes. Oh, I love this film so much. It's absolutely fantastic. Never seen the original Mortal Kombat. Sit down and watch it, and then go and watch the new one and be like, make up your mind, see what you think is better. Personally, I think the original is the better one. I think it's paced much better. It has much... It's more of a complete story than the new one. I think that's the problem I have with the new one's clearly setting up for sequels and stuff. And yes, this one does as well, but it's more complete. Let's just put it that way. Anyway, my number one favorite video game movie of all time is actually the very first video game movie of all time. It is Super Mario Brothers. There's a lot of people out there that's like, oh, I've never watched Super Mario Bros. At all. They've never played Super Mario Bros. How is this Super Mario Brothers in any way, shape, or form? And I fully agree. It's a weird take on Mario. Like, why is it so dingy? Why is it so grim? Why is everything covered in fungus? Blah, 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 blah. They are in a mushroom kingdom, so there's lots of fungus and mushrooms and all that kind of thing. Transform King is something that was in Super Mario Bros. 3. That happened quite a lot. Every world you went to, there was a king that was transformed into something else. One was a snake, one was something else, I don't know. But in this one, he's fungus. The Goombas are just mindless drones, so they're turned into like these large reptilian things with tiny little heads. That was weird. You have Bob-Bombs, you have King Koopa. King Koopa, by the way, Bowser is King Koopa in a bowl thing hovering above, shooting at Mario. You have Super Scopes, you have Mario and Luigi just doing a thing. You have Princess Daisy, not Princess Peach. Princess Daisy was in Super Mario Land on the Game Boy. There's so much in here that does reference Mario's. And also, infamously, you get the naming of Mario and how it all makes sense. Mario is called Mario, and Luigi is Luigi Mario. Hence why they are the Mario Brothers. And we get that explained to us in this film. So, there's canon. Tough. No, I genuinely love this film. It is silly. It is crap. It is crap. But I just can't... I've seen this film so many times. And apparently there's an extended edition out there somewhere, which I need to see. And there's so much in this. You have Yoshi in this film, and Yoshi does not look like Yoshi that you expect at all. So expect the dinosaur. Just throwing that out there. Expect the dinosaur. That's the Yoshi you're gonna get. But yeah, there's so much in this film that references what Mario could be in a realistic setting, which is the most bizarre way to go about it. And I genuinely love this film. Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo had a rough time making this film. Apparently they were pretty drunk the entire time, and they hate this film. Hated this film, whatever. And that's a shame. It is a shame. But at the same time, in the film, they put in great performances. I believe them as Brooklyn Plumbers. You know, I don't necessarily believe them as brothers, but Brooklyn Plumbers for sure. And Dennis Hopper is in this film playing King Koopa. And he's so creepy and slimy and horrible. I have figurines. I have Luigi, Mario, and Koopa of these at my parents' house somewhere. I love this film so much. It gets a bad rap because it doesn't look like everyone expects Mario to look. If you go in, this is a realistic take on Mario across Blade Runner, you can have a good time. And I just genuinely think you should have a good time watching it. It is worth it. My friend Nick actually took this film and made an FMV style game out of it. It was only out of base test, obviously you couldn't actually really release it or anything like that. But I got to, I believe I got to play it. No, he did put up like a YouTube version of where he's playing it. And yeah, man, it looked like great fun where you can just kind of pick and choose where you're going to go and what happens to them, whether you're arrested or whatnot. It was very, very cool. Right, guys, I'm going to ramble on about Mario Brothers for ages if I don't stop now. So, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed my list, and and agree with me on some of these, but please, in the comments below, let me know your top 10 favorite lists, or top 5, or whatever. Tell me whether you think I'm an idiot for liking some of these films, or if you think, yeah, do you know what? He's allowed to like what he likes, because I personally think I'm allowed to like what I like. But yeah, if you guys, if you had fun with this one, please like, share, comment, do all the things that YouTube asks us to do, and don't forget to be nice to each other and have a great day. See you soon. Bye.